Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Callie.
I'm Pop-Pop.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys. And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. No escaping. Oh. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you with us today. We just got finished off with morning chores. Farm market's all set up. Animals are now all taken care of. And Dad just got back from the wholesaler, so we do need to head up to the farm market and get all that stuff put away. We do have some picking scheduled for this morning. So before we get to the picking, I just wanted to show you guys greenhouse number 6. Some of you will remember the wagon load of plants that we had in here. All those plants are now in the soil. And now that it's cleaned out, we're starting to use it for storage. Not only are we gonna be storing equipment in here, but we got some calves. Yeah, this is our first calf in greenhouse number 6 for the year, but soon this thing will be filled up pretty good. I just like to showcase greenhouse number 6 once we have like it basically cleared out, because this thing is now gonna be filled with straw and with other equipment that we'll be using for next year. Like the water wheel transplanter, which will be going in shortly. Very, very shortly. What a good piece of equipment. Man, we use that thing a lot. But like I said, now that we're all finished off with morning chores, we're on our way out to the field.
I wonder how expensive that equipment is.
We've got a small little detour before we start harvesting. When you look out through this section of mulch, it looks pretty desolate, nothing going on. But that would not be the case because yesterday we came through and direct seeded some stuff into these rows of mulch. We've got cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, and zucchini. Now the reason why we stopped for a second is because we did not have our drip lines hooked up, because if there was nothing planted here, there was no reason to run water. So very quickly, we're just getting our lines hooked up. And yeah, that's all we needed to do. Just get these few lines hooked up. And now all this stuff that we direct seeded can be watered. The last time we were out here with the cucurbits, we were getting our pickling cucumbers harvested. Today, we're just harvesting our regular cucumbers. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that we have 2 plantings that have now ripened up. So to make sure that we're not spreading any disease from the old crop to the new, we're gonna be harvesting our new planting first and then moving over to our old planting. You know, it's worse than picking cucumbers once. Picking them twice. Now, when it comes to the type of picking that we're doing, so we're picking for a farm market, it can be kind of difficult to know what exact size you need to harvest because there's so many different people that come into the farm market, and that means there's so many different people with different preferences. So what we try and do is pick for the health of the plant. So we don't want to take anything that's too small. So you can see these cucumbers here, they are just about ready to pick, and they look gorgeous. A little on the small side. Now the thing we have to remember, if they were a little bit bigger than this, like this one, I might take this one. I might take that one. Because the next time I come back through and pick, it's gonna be a day or two, these cucumbers are gonna grow like crazy. And they'll get to the point where they're so large that a lot of people don't wanna pick them up. So because of that, I need to think about the plant. If I leave these cucumbers on here for too long, they're gonna get too large. They're not gonna start producing smaller cucumbers. So it can be a little bit of a challenge trying to figure out what exact size to pick. Now, if I only had a few plants, this would be much easier, but as we look out through the field, we've got quite a few. So what I'm trying to do is pick this size and bigger today, so that the next time we come through and harvest, we won't have any cucumbers that are too large and people won't want to pick them up. When the cucumbers get to a certain size, the seeds inside them really start to grow. And people do not like that. I will tell you firsthand, they do not like seedy cucumbers. So by picking them a little on the smaller side before they get too large, like this one's perfect. Look at that. Any bigger than that, people start to get a little weary of them. So we try and pick them that size and smaller. But what I'm seeing, I'm very happy with.
There are going to be so many cucumbers here on Monday.
I've probably seen like 100 that are just too small to pick today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy day next time we're harvesting these. We got the first planting of zucchini and cucumbers harvested. We didn't have trouble finding many. I mean, they were absolutely gorgeous. They almost jumped into the baskets. Dad also mentioned to us that the zucchini looked nice, so that is a good bonus. Now, we wanted to harvest this second planting first because right across the road, here is our first planting. Now, some people might say, you know, what's the big problem with harvesting the first planting and then moving over to the second? Well, as the plants get a little bit older, they're more susceptible to disease. And if there is disease in the plants, if we harvest our first planting and then move over to our second, whatever disease is going to be on our arms, and we're just going to be moving it into the plants. Now, as you can see, second planting here, first planting right on the opposite side of the road. Does it matter? You know, the wind blows this stuff around too. And yes, it actually does matter. Every little thing we can do to keep our plants healthy, we're going to do it. And this is a big one. But now that our second planting is all harvested, we can move over to our first planting. Now with this first planting of cucumbers, I am finally starting to see some bad ones showing up. Now a big reason why there is bad ones is because during the intense heats that we had last week, it caused the plants to wilt. And while these plants were wilted, some of the cucumbers actually got sun scald on them. And to just put it plainly, the crops got a really bad sunburn. And usually the plant is protected by all this foliage, but when the leaves were wilted so hard, there was nothing that they could do. They weren't covering anything. Thankfully, the plant is still healthy. And if we look, we've got new growth coming and new cucumbers being pushed out. So once we get through them and get all those old bad cucumbers picked off, that's just gonna encourage the plant to continue pushing new growth. So nothing to worry about. It's just a little bit of a bummer that we're dealing with it. Oh, he's here, and he thought he was gonna get out of harvesting cucumbers.
You guys aren't done yet?
No, not yet. But now that you're here, we're gonna get done really quick. What were you working on?
Eating a pickle.
Now that's what you're doing right now. What were you working on before you got here?
I was raking straw, Andrew.
A big job we have for the afternoon is baling straw. And who here likes baling straw? That guy. He loves baling straw. He loves riding in the tractor.
What are you talking about? I'm the only one here that knows how to bale straw. That's the issue. Got an issue. Something's eating the cucumbers.
What do you think, deer? There's been tons of deer
not
tracks.
me.
Well, okay. Okay, Daniel, I don't know. Sometimes you take bites out of the produce.
Well, this time it wasn't me, okay?
I'm not saying right this second, but yeah.
Oh, it blended in. Yep, I didn't have Callie here to tell me where the baskets are. We have our friend Liberty here. He's gonna bob for cucumbers. That's why he's here. Look at Liberty wants to dump cucumbers in. Check this out. Look at that. Oh! Just got all the cucumbers moved into the cooler. This will get the heat out of them and they can drip dry. We just made our way down to the barn. As you can see, we got our conveyor put into place, our bale elevator. Dad is gonna be here on the wagon loading the bales, and we're gonna be up inside stacking. Now it's exciting, we got a little extra help. My cousin Tyler's here until lunch. He got finished off with planting a little bit earlier. But we've got Matthew, myself, and Daniel for now. Once we start baling, Daniel's gonna be out of here and Tyler's gonna have to go back to work. So Matthew and I are gonna be stacking. We've emptied this barn out quite a bit. We still have a few bales over there, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna stack this backside of the barn.
Because you're so strong.
It just wasn't working.
Yeah, those pincers were all wrapped up in binding twine. Because if you just go up all the way out, because it's so cold outside. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for a more beautiful day to do this. We just got our first wagon load of straw put into the barn. We stacked it all the way in the back and we were making our way up the backside of the barn. It looks really, really good. We're not having any trouble. We are gonna stack this bottom all the way out to the front. I'm not 100% sure how much straw we're gonna be baling today, but whatever we can get baled, we're gonna be putting in the barn. We do have someone showing up for anywhere from 750 to 800 bales. So I don't know if they're coming this week or next week, but when they get here, we're gonna try and have everything on wagon so it's easier. I had mentioned in the barn that we have a perfect day to do this. The high is in the 70s. That should be straw baling weather. Last time we did this, it was in the upper 90s into the hundreds. So I'll take this weather. 70s in a breeze, wonderful. Lunchtime on the farm today. We've got a little bit of leftovers. Look at this salad here. Woo, that looks so good. And then Grammy has got chipped venison. Cream chip venison. Wow. I think you guys have heard me say this before, but I'm really excited about lunch today. And here you go, sir. I had to bring Daniel down to the blue barn because that's where the tractor he needed was. He's gonna get started on baling straw, and Matthew and I are just gonna continue to unload. And there's my neighbor Bill. We love neighbor Bill. Going up the elevator. Oh! I'm glad I didn't eat too much for lunch, because if I did, this would not be the job you want to be doing after a big lunch. The plan for now, because we no longer have Daniel with us and Tyler had to go back to planting cover crop, we are gonna just bring this even to our elevator so we can stand on top of the straw, and then we'll start throwing bales back again. But this whole area that I'm standing in, we're gonna get this about 3 to 4 bales high. So that should take up a bulk of what we have on our wagons, and then we'll just continue throwing bales as far back as we can. Another full wagon has been put up here into the barn. We're starting to get further and further out. Watch, Matt, there's a hole in the floor over there. We're gonna try and get all the way to the end and then stack on top in the back. We've done 3 loads today. We wanna get 4 more done. I think because we're just gonna be stacking stuff in here, I'm gonna update you guys after every wagon. But so far, this is 3 wagons. Wagon number 4 was just stacked inside the barn. We started stacking all the way here at the front. We've got a little bit of a ledge that we can tie in, but that's no problem. We wanted to keep the door nice and open, so we had continuous breeze. Another update, we filled the front up all the way. We've started stacking up on the sides. I think we're gonna fill in that little area over there and then start throwing all the way to the back. I am very happy. The temperature is nice and cool. I mean, it is warm, it is humid in here, but you're baling straw, you're stacking straw. It's supposed to be hot and humid. Look at that. Wow. Getting more and more straw put into the barn. I think we're gonna need 1 more wagon of straw. And then once we get that last wagon of straw put up into here, we're gonna stack the rest of the wagons. And we're stacking the rest of the wagons because we have someone showing up next week for around 600, 700 bales. And we're just gonna pull them off the wagons back at the farm. We think that's a great idea. But yeah, it looks really good in here. More and more bales being put into the barn. Last wagon load has been unloaded into the barn for the day. It's starting to get a little bit late. Joel came out here, he helped us for a few minutes, so thank you, big help, Joel. And he currently is out stacking onto the wagons that we're gonna be unloading for the big order that's coming.
Let me hold it down, Tubby.
Whoa, buddy. Just slide me. What do you got, Callie?
Peas.
You got peas? And over here, who do we have? Miss Lily. How are you feeling, Lily? Are you feeling good? You sick? Yeah, she's a little sick. She got a snotty nose. But we're happy. Oh, get your finger out of there. That's silly. No! As you could imagine, this house has been pretty crazy with the sick kids. Lauren is feeling the worst as of right now. She's like a rock star, though. She's a rock star woman. And then you have Ronnie running around kicking the soccer ball, right, Ronnie? Yeah, where did it go? But anyway, it's been a long day. We're gonna eat some dinner. We're gonna take care of some sick babies and some sick mommies. So that means this is where we're gonna end the video. We'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.